Hi, my name is John. In this video I demonstrate how to set up lever type handbrake calipers.
This is your foot brake, rear foot brake, no problem. This is the handbrake, near side handbrake. As you can see, it's well down on performance compared to the offside. This is the handbrake lever on the brake that had the poor performance. You can see the handbrake lever is held forward. It should be all the way back, actually touching. It should be touching that stop there. The brake's actually free there, but the cable's been wound up, which stops the caliper from self-adjust. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to loosen the cable off inside the car and then set the calipers up, start from scratch. This is a classic case where somebody's actually adjusted the cable up to make the handbrake feel better. It feels like it's working, but you can see the balance bars right across to one side. That's because this caliper's stuck. The caliper's seized on and it's had free play in the cable, so they've wound the cable up to make it feel like it's going to work. What we'll do, we'll unwind the adjuster so the balance bar comes all the way back and set the calipers up at the back properly. This adjuster should never need moving after it's initially set up with new cables. You see where it's been all the way back here and somebody's wound it up. So before you do anything, it must be like that. Plenty free play in the linkage, which means that the calipers will be able to go all the way back and return properly. Right, you can see now how the caliper's coming all the way back, touching the stop. All that free play is because the caliper is actually sticking. It's probably the sliders that are seized up on top of the caliper. But when the caliper's held on like that, the caliper can't adjust itself up inside. It actually adjusts up when you press the foot brake, but when it's held on like that, the adjuster doesn't work. Right, we'll pull it apart, free things off and put some new discs and pads on. That's the hydraulic pipe that actuates the hydraulic side of the brake, the foot brake, and that's the cable that operates the parking brake. Take the two 30mm bolts out. Caliper levers off. Pads are fairly free in the holders. That slider's free, and as I thought, that bottom slider is absolutely seized solid. The best way to get these moving is to put a little bit of heat on. Put a bit of heat on the casting there, and that will soften the rust up. There's a rubber boot on there, we'll try to keep the heat away from that. It doesn't normally take a great lot of heat. If you try and force them free, you can bend the pins and actually bend. Right, it's starting to move there. Right, now I've got it moving. The top one's free, that's the way they should come out. We'll clean that up, re-grease them and put them back together. Pull the disc off now, it's held on with the Torx bolt. Sometimes this seeds in. These obviously just come out without taking the caliper carry out, which is quite a good feature. clean all this up. You must make sure this face is nice and clean, otherwise you get brake run out, you get the disc moving, you get shape between the disc and there, you'll get brake run out. A little bit of grease on the pins, all it takes to stop them from seizing up again. Not rocket science at all. The one that was seized I've cleaned up on the wire wheel on the grinder, nice and free now. That's the actual hydraulic piston. It works a foot, the service brake works on. You can't push these calipers back, you've got to wind them back with a special tool. That's a tool that's got two little lugs on that locate and two flaps on the piston. Tool goes in there and it rotates on the two flaps. And as you wind it in, it actually spins the piston as well as pushes it. And this resets the mechanism inside, the self-adjusting mechanism. That's tight, but once they get going, that's tight. What I'll do, I'll push the piston out a bit. And then work it back and forward with some brake fluid on so we can get the fray off, because the calipers are very expensive. And I've pushed the piston out. What we'll do now, we'll put a little bit of brake fluid behind the rubber boot. Brake fluid is the only lubricant you can use, brake fluid or rubber grease. You don't put WD-40 in, as it does swell the seals up, makes things worse. Brake fluid in an oil can. Once you get them moving, they're normally alright. So we're starting to go back there now. You see it better there. We'll work it back and forth a few times. Hopefully it'll be alright. Yeah, it's certainly going back there right now. Right, that's it all the way back. So now when we assemble the brake, you build your brake up and you build your foot brake up, which sets up the piston inside there, and then you adjust your handbrake cable up last. This is what nice new brake disc. The pump coated in the protective grease, stop it rusting. Obviously you're going to take the grease off. Some brake spray. Locate and screw up. Catching the back plate's fairly rusty, but it won't do any harm. I mean, this vehicle's 10-year-old and still 125,000 miles. There we go. The new brake pad set, they go in there like that. Put a little bit of copper slip on the edges, stop them seizing in. And a little bit on that face there, helps to stop brake squeal. This our pistons are nice and free, our sliders are nice and free. We'll move our piston back and forward a couple of times and we've got that as free as we can. Put the caliper back on. A couple of anti-rattle springs in there, you've got to push the caliper against them. That's them. There's a lot of cars use this type of parking brake. VWs, Audis and Scooters all use it. People say they're a poor handbrake, are actually a good handbrake if they're set up properly. But there's an awful lot of people who don't realise how they work and they wind the cables up. You can see how the calipers slide in there. The handbrake lever's all the way back. You don't pull the handbrake on until you press the foot brake. That pushes that piston out and resets the adjuster inside the caliper so the handbrake works efficiently. Right, we've put the asset together, we've pressurised the brake, built the brake pedal up, and now we'll come to set up the handbrake cable. As you can see, there's still slack in there. If I pull the handbrake on, you can see how the bar is now pulling even, or more or less even, both sides. That's the way it should be. The handbrake feels quite nice at that, and I've actually gained an inch of cable. We'll just adjust some of the slack out of it. We'll make sure we leave a little bit of slack in here so the calipers can adjust up properly. That's nice. Working properly now. You can see how the lever's now all the way back where it's supposed to be, and the brake's nice and free. See the handbrake lever there? It's all the way back against its stop, where before it was up here somewhere. New brakes, when you're distant parts. Just for handbrake. The other one, right up where they should be. That's without replacing calipers, that's just setting them up properly.